I had a baby right before the pandemic. Thank you. Um, my wife did most of the heavy lifting. I kind of just went and then waited. Just tapped my watch for 9 months. It was a real set it and forget it. But yeah, in May of 2020, we left Brooklyn. We fled. Our lease was up. It was mostly the size, right? This 2-bedroom apartment that felt like a palatial estate, especially by New York standards, started kind of shrinking in on us once we were no longer allowed outside. That, and there was a large gathering of blood gang members that decided my front stoop was their home base. And that's not positive or negative about the Bloods. In case anybody here is initiated for life. Lovely guys, they just weren't social distancing. But honestly, it was mostly the size, mostly the size of the apartment, because we had this brand new baby. And honestly, the beginning of the pandemic, which sounds insensitive, it was kind of nice for us. We're a brand new family. We're so in love with each other. We're like, that's a brand new baby. We're like passing each other in the cramped hallways, like, you go. No, I'll go. Okay. You go. I love you. I love everybody. And then the months dragged on, right? My son, he's new to this reality. He's screaming. My wife is hormonal, coming off giving birth, so she's speaking in tongues. I am unreasonable at homeostasis. Trying my best to be an ever-expanding container of empathy. Failing, losing arguments constantly. I knew it was time to go, right? By the end, after a couple months passed, I could tell, because we'd pass each other in the hallway. And it only happened once or twice, but we passed each other in the hallway, and I would just kind of throw a shoulder at her. Just to knock her off track. She was just winning too many arguments. I would never do anything. I just wanted her to know that if I did, it would be a flawless victory. We just got our own place in September. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. But I know that kind of leaves quite a bit of time unaccounted for. For about 14 months, my wife and my baby son and I, we were living at my in-laws, which, believe it or not, was not on my vision board at 36. I'm grateful. Can you tell with how that just came out of my face? I'm grateful. I am. I love them. They welcomed us into their home. Very generous. Still a nightmare. Both things can be true. It's just 14 months of silent sex and arguments. Say it right. Can't yell in front of the baby. Now we have these 2 lifeguard adults kind of checking things out. So all of our disagreements for over a year were just a series of pump fakes and eyebrows. Sexually, we were back in high school. I almost said middle school. We slept in my wife's childhood bed for over a year, in her childhood bed. It was impossible to have sex. Couldn't get into the mind frame. She couldn't. I could have sex in a river of blood. Does not matter to me. My wife needs the ambiance, the incense, the tones. It's really tough, It's in my in-laws' house. And I don't know, you and I feel like we've made a connection already. I could tell when somebody is similar to me in this sense, sexually. I'm a really loud comer. Samesies? I'm talking Lion King of the Jungle shit. I hop on and 2, that's it, 2, tops. That's my hang time. My wife sees it coming, though, sees me gearing up, puts her hand over my mouth, and I'm like, yeah, choke me, spit in my face. Let's do something different. That's a problem, That's the problem with having sex so seldomly. Is I was just too excited to be there. Every time I'm just so fired up, my tail's wagging. I'm yelping, I'm making noise. My wife's like, you need to calm the fuck down. And I'm like, I haven't been to this park in a really long time. I want to hit every ride. That was a problem. I'd get too excited, make a move, the bed would creak, I'd make a noise, my wife would fucking meerkat. I'm like, what is that? Is someone coming? Are they all listening? Is someone coming? And I'm like, no, nobody's coming. Anymore. Nobody in the whole house. We slept on a full mattress, my wife and I. 2 full-grown adults slept on the size mattress that you all give your dog. I'm still in constant physical pain. It's brutal, and structurally it kind of should have worked. You know what I mean? Because I'm a relatively slender fella, and my wife is a petite Italian woman. But she sleeps like a fucking middle linebacker. In bed, somehow she's 6'4", 325 pounds, and runs a 4.4 40. She covers the entire geography of the mattress. I was left with the Gaza Strip. I had to contort my entire body to fit into this zone. I'm hanging off the mattress, holding on, trying not to fall off like I was a mountain goat trying to catch some Z's. My hoof would slip off. I was just constantly disrupting sleep patterns, having relentless nightmares where I was just plummeting to my death at all times. Have you guys ever had that nightmare? Right, where you can actually feel your soul re-enter your avatar? Dude, 3 or 4 times a week. For over a year. 3 or 4 times a week. I'd just be in bed, just like, ah! Just turn to my wife like, sorry, I didn't realize I was back. She's just completely unbothered, enjoying her acreage. Every once in a while, she'd roll over, big spoon me just to further emasculate me. I can't prove this to be true, but I'm pretty sure once or twice she slipped a fingy in. I think she popped one in, whispered in my ear, just so you know who the dominant one is. Which, joke's on her, I actually think the bottom is the alpha. That position takes far more courage. Yeah, I'll let that one wash over. Not only hilarious, it's objectively true. So, I am grateful, very grateful that they welcomed us into their home. Super nice. Still frustrating, obviously. Sharing space with people you're not used to sharing space with can get a little crazy. So, it's frustrating, but I talked to people about it, pretty much anybody who would listen. And everybody was very nice, right? They'd try to offer sympathy or positivity, a silver lining, right? They're like, yeah, but dude, living at your in-laws for over a year, you've had built-in babysitters for over a year. It's pretty sweet. You had built-in babysitters for over a year. And I'm like, oh, yeah, no, we went out a ton over the pandemic. It's like, yes, absolutely. They definitely helped, right? But my mother-in-law, she was a teacher, so she worked through the entire thing. And my father-in-law, he didn't babysit much. I guess I could have let him babysit more, but I'm pretty sure he founded QAnon, so. Yeah, he can watch my baby boy if I want him to be on a no-fly list by the time he's 3. I come home, he has all these new theories. It's like, hello, Daddy. Did you know Bill Clinton wrote on Jeffrey Epstein's private plane? 137 times. I'm like, well, that's interesting. Follow the money, young man. That was my entire year. My entire year was Raffi's song Apples and Bananas on repeat while my father-in-law told me the truth about the vaccine. Every day, I like to eat apples and bananas. Do you even know what mRNA is, dude? Do you know how it behaves with DNA? This isn't even a vaccine. It's gene therapy. They've never done this before. I like to oat, opals and bananas. So yeah, there's quite a bit going on. It was good though. I actually look at it as like a year-long lesson in empathy and understanding. I really do, because I love my father-in-law. Absolutely. I love him. I don't agree with a single thought that he has, but he actually gave me the gift of I no longer have public opinions. It's not worth it. Before I moved into that house, I was a wild horse, couldn't be tamed. Love dialoguing, love sharing ideas, going back and forth with each other. My father-in-law hooked me to a leash, ran me in circles, until all I see now is tunnel vision for the finish line. I just can't do the conversation. I can't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you believe. I know what I believe. I just want out. Especially socially and politically. Like right now, my social and political opinions are the exact same as whoever I'm currently talking to. Doesn't matter if I believe it, don't believe it, I just want out. Doesn't matter if somebody's like, dude, we gotta defund the police right now. I'm like, they should have never had money in the first place. They're like, we need to evict these hippies using the National Guard. Like, they've had it too good for too long. You need to bully these dirty-footed teenagers until they're broken enough to get an office position. We got to know each other, though, my father-in-law and I. You know, I learned he loves drinking. I don't drink, and he took that as a personal attack. So, oh, word, pussy, you're not gonna drink? I'm gonna make shit uncomfortable. No, but he's lived an interesting life. Loves boozing, lived an interesting life. He has 6 really good stories. And I've heard them all quite a bit, you know? But the one thing that I'm genuinely impressed at as a comedian is no matter how boxed up he is, no matter how many drinks he's had, he tells those stories beat for beat, word for word. The exact same every single time. As a comedian, that's incredible. It doesn't matter. He could be hammered, passed out, face down in a kiddie pool. And somebody's like, yo, Mario, tell us about that time in the 70s. He's like, well, it was a warm July morn. Just launches right into it. We celebrated Father's Day together. This was my second. This was his 856th. And Father's Day, it's interesting, you know what I mean? Do we have dads in the crowd? We have some dads? Yeah. Oh, what an enthusiastic group celebrated by their women. Good stuff. Isn't that hilarious? It's like 6 claps. Like, eh. If I was like, any moms in the building, they'd be like, yeah! What if I mean, that is an exact microcosm of the holidays. Because, you know, Father's Day is a day, and Mother's Day is a holiday. Right? Mother's Day is a get out of the house. Get the hell out of the house, have a 24-hour vacation, go to the spa, get a massage, get your nails done, get the hell out of here. We don't want to see you in the kitchen. We don't want to see you near the kids. Get the... And then Father's Day is, we want to see you be a dad. We're going to invite over the entire extended family to audit your parenting ability. And not only are we not going to make things easier, we might make things a bit more difficult every now and then. So I was on the clock all Father's Day, which I don't mind. My favorite thing in the world is being a dad. I fucking love it. But, you know, once my son went down at around 7:30, 8 o'clock, that's when I was like, all right, I get to celebrate. I kept this kid alive for 2 years. It's pretty great. This day is now about me. So I took 500 milligrams of THC. I was like, I have 80 minutes till bedtime. Why not circle Saturn once or twice? Speed skating them rings. So I sat down at the table and I was eating all the food human beings as a species has ever made. And in ambles my father-in-law, and he launches into a story, and I'm like, fuck! This is 4.5 minutes. That's how many times I've heard every single story. I know exactly how long they last, from the launch until the dismount. But I don't know if you know any serial storytellers. You can't leave after the story because they've already launched into their second story. You have to plan your escape at about 3:45 into a 4.5-minute story. That's when you start to back out of the room. So that's what I did. At about 3:45, I picked up my tray just like it was prison. Walked about 30 feet to the other side of the kitchen, threw it in the trash, turned around like a vampire. My father-in-law was right in front of me. And he launches into a second story, and I'm like, fuck! This is 3.5 minutes. So I'm trying to escape. I'm like looking over his shoulder, under his armpit, for a seam to break out, you know? And then I realized, I was listening, I was like, whoa, he's telling this story a little bit different. Out of nowhere, he's like performing it. He's putting his heart and soul into it. He's personifying characters. He's Mario. He's got talking to Mario. He's doing voices. He's putting everything into it. And I looked at him and I was like, you're getting better. Is that what this whole year has been about? You've just been workshopping an ironclad one-man show? Just to take out on the road once everything opens up? Well, you know what, Buster? Consider at least one ticket sold. Right before we left, about 2 weeks before we got out, my father-in-law, he bought a flagpole off of YouTube. I didn't know that was a marketplace. Did you know? Did you know you could buy and sell things off the tubes of you? I thought YouTube is where you go and you find out jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams. Then you take that information to a party and you ruin everybody's night. I didn't realize you could buy and sell things. But he did. He got this flagpole. And he's a legitimate, brilliant engineer, right? Owned, operated, and repaired heavy-duty cranes his entire life. Ran the Transit Authority here in New York. Really, genuinely brilliant engineer guy. So he gets this flagpole, and he extends it 30 feet to make it even more flagpole. And he has every flag that you would assume he has. Yeah, he's got the American flag. He's got the Betsy Ross 13 colony circle with the 2A in the middle, just as Betsy wove it. He's got the Don't Tread on Me flag. He's got a Blue Lives Matter flag. And he's got a giant black flag with an AR-15 on it that says, "Come and get it." That's what I was driving home to after shows. Every night. Sometimes I'd be scheduled for 15 minutes, and I would do 2.5 hours. Just to delay the inevitable. But no, so the day after Father's Day, right? I'm downstairs, I'm in the kitchen, I'm feeding my son breakfast. And my father-in-law, he's one of these dudes, he's up already, right? No matter how many drinks he's had, no matter how boxed up he gets, he's up the next morning at 6 a.m. working. He's been retired for 10 years. I don't know what the fuck, it's insane. And I've watched him do it. He wakes up and he's like, that's over. It's like, hangovers are for libcuck Hillary lovers. He's literally been retired. I don't know what the fuck he's doing out there. It's like a complete prison job. It's one of those, take this pile of bricks over there, and then once that whole pile is over here, you're goddamn right, your boss moves it back over here. So he's outside doing that. He comes in, sees my son and I eating at the kitchen table, and he goes, "Good morning." My kid's like, "Huh?" My father-in-law's like, "Come outside, Mike. I want to show you something. Got something to show you." And I'm like, I'm good. I'm going to stay over here with unconditional love. I'm cool. And he's like, no, it's going to be great. Come out. You're going to love it. I'm like, okay. So I walk out to the front of the house. He opens up the door. We step out. And he points to the flagpole. And on the flagpole, the gay pride flag is flapping in the breeze. Right? And he looks at me, and he looks at his flagpole, and he goes, "That's for you." I didn't even write that joke. It happened at me. There's literally a living, breathing, running around receipt for my heterosexuality. In the house. I came inside his daughter. And he's still like, I don't know, dude. I'm not fully convinced. You earn your living using your words. In fairness to him, he did have to see me giggle into a MacBook Pro for a full year. Yeah, and every once in a while, I'd put on a wig and a costume and sashay in his front yard. My wife would film me with an iPhone. Never saw the final product, had no idea what it looked like. Just saw that and was like, they're gonna live here forever.